Jonathan got hate because it was like he was using Edie for views, or he was using her being trans for views. I got that I was homophobic, transphobic, that I was trying to hide, that I was unhappy with my child. The comment, my perfect family was crumbling.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today we have got a special announcement from both Anna Saccone and Jonathan Joly. They have made a special announcement. Sound the alarm, everyone. We've got a confessional. No, I'm joking. An apology even. No, basically Anna and Jonathan are kind of, I don't know, talking about the amount of hate that they've gotten, which if you've been following them for a little while, they bring it on themselves, ladies and gentlemen, they do. As soon as they start getting a little bit of hate, and as soon as the heat starts getting turned up, they both back up into a corner and go, why am I getting so much hate? Why does everyone hate what we're doing? Blah, 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 blah. So we're just going to dissect what they were saying in one of their last videos. So let's just get on with it.
I did want to address something because, and again, I know I probably shouldn't, but I just have seen like it's basically on Instagram where I've got, and my Instagram is pretty clean. I feel like it's really only people on there that follow me for the right reasons, I would hope, because trust me, I block anyone who is not nice on there. I have like a zero tolerance, especially because I post like my kids.
Yeah, Anna Saccone's block list is incredible. I mean, she's had me blocked for ages, but she'll block anyone that disagrees with her, calls her out on things. The thing is that she's saying that she's getting a lot of hate on Instagram. It's because she started posting all of those like controversial I'm a toxic boy mum things, and people don't really like it. She brought that on herself because she did the video. She did that toxic boy mum video, which I've already addressed in the past. And then she kept on following it up with more and more things about her son being her favourite child and all of this. She kept on basing people. And if you live in a little echo chamber where everyone's all nice because you've got everyone blocked, if you start pissing people off, you're going to get people in droves who you haven't yet blocked. That is the reason why you're seeing negative comments right now.
Whenever I post anything about Edie, that's usually when all of the stuff comes to the surface, you know, like, yeah, it's just interesting to see. And I honestly used to avoid it for a good, I'd say 2 years.
Yeah, the reason why you get hate and your husband gets hate is because you keep on exploiting your transgender daughter's journey for views, and you've milked it and you've made a lot of money out of it, and that is what gets people talking, is your daughter. But I bet you anything she's gonna say it's something completely different.
I would say 2 years. I used to really avoid anything. Like, I would post stuff obviously, but it was very managed and like curated with what I would say with regards to Edie specifically. Jonathan took the complete opposite approach, which I fully respected and I thought was amazing. I was just not brave enough. This has turned into such a different conversation, but I did not expect it to go this way. The outcome of that is that we both got hate. Basically taught me that no matter what you do or say, people are always gonna find fault, so what's the point?
I am so sorry. I've literally had to edit out like a couple seconds of her talking just because she talks so slowly, and I'm just like, stop repeating yourself, I'm just trying to get to the point. Basically, I've always been under the suspicion that Anna wants the views, she wants the money, probably more than Jonathan. Actually, you know what, I have no idea at this point. I think they're both as money hungry as each other, but I reckon she was actually told by management or whoever that maybe they didn't even have management, I don't know. I reckon they both were probably advised that one of you should just keep your profile kind of the way that it was, because we saw that Jonathan's was going down like a sinking ship. I think it was extremely calculated, and I think she gets into it in just a minute.
It's like Jonathan got hate because it was like he was using Edie for views, or he was using her being trans for views, which he totally wasn't. He was just excited about how happy she was.
I'm sorry, Anna Love, but what fresh bollocks is this? If you go have a little look on their YouTube, they've actually put back pretty much most of their video content, as long as it wasn't controversial and it wasn't called out. They have put a lot of it back. The views that they used to have were a lot more than what they have now. When they then all of a sudden started posting Edie, started talking about her journey, started showing her on TikTok, Jonathan's TikTok grew, you guys started getting more views on your YouTube, people were discussing you, whether it was good or bad. The amount of attention you guys got and income you would have got from that is ridiculous. Yes, you can still be happy and proud of your child, but that doesn't still mean that you weren't using her for views.
And wanted to celebrate her. I got that I was homophobic, transphobic, that I was trying to hide, that I was unhappy with my child, and that I got the comment my perfect family was crumbling, was falling apart, and I was so unhappy with it, which that could not have been further from the truth.
The reasoning why people were saying this was because she was absolutely radio silent, and even though she can say all she wants, like, oh well, we both took different approaches, one of the key moments as to why people started saying that was because they did a video called Edie's new name reveal or something a bit like that, where they were saying goodbye to the old name, her old name, and introducing her new one, something a bit like that. I'm pretty sure you can still watch it. And Anna was nowhere to be seen, and supposedly they were like having like a little party and they were like saying goodbye to her old name. Now that video was extremely staged, but Anna was nowhere to be found. She was not in that video. So then people then started talking about it, and every single time we saw her, she was looking all sad and angry and miserable. That is the reasoning why. So don't try and twist it and act like, oh, people were just painting me like this. You said about 4 minutes ago, before you just said this, you said we both handled it completely differently. Therefore, people are going to interpret it differently.
And it makes me feel sick that people said stuff like that. But people sent me all kinds of like really hateful messages. I'm like, why have you not addressed this? Why have you not? So I'm like, literally can do nothing right. So that just kind of made me realize that I should just post whatever I want. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is that I am happy with it, and nobody else's opinion really comes into it.
I love the fact that she's just like, oh, I've gotten so much hate, I've gotten so much this and that. Just think what your daughter's going to feel like in the next 10 more years when she realises that her right to privacy was completely stripped away from her because her parents wanted to drive nice cars and live in a nice house. Literally, these people just don't think it's like, oh, and that's all that matters. It's like, no, you just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it.
But anyway, that was like a very long tangent, and I didn't actually mean to get into that at all. And so whenever I start posting more with me and Matt, that just seems to like trigger certain people. Don't get me wrong, most people are really, really nice and have been so supportive, and I'm so grateful. But yeah, there's always the few, like whenever I post with Matt, that just seem to be really triggered. One person in particular said that I laugh too much when I'm with Matt.
Yeah, I won't lie, there are some hilarious conspiracies about Matt and Anna with their like friendship romance, their budding friendship. I just find it quite entertaining how all of a sudden Matt has become this big side character, which it's adding a bit more depth to the storylines because their content can be a little bit funny. But she seems a lot happier now that she's hanging out with Matt. But people are just trying to work out the dynamic, do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, if you put friendships, if you put other people on social media, and she is heavily promoting him, she's like promoting his socials and all of that, then you're going to have some people who say stuff like that. You're just going to have to toughen up a little bit. And she said it at the very beginning. She said, oh, it's very curated. I've blocked loads of people. Well, you know what? If you're going to take front and center role of the SACCONEJOLYs YouTube channel, you're just going to have to get used to this kind of comment. Like, I get bad comments. I get bad comments all the time. Do I read them? Sometimes. And if I do, I just kind of go like, there's no point there's just no point. People are going to have a bad opinion about everything. Just let it go.
And that I don't laugh, or like I don't act that way when I'm just vlogging normally, or when I'm with family. I mean, I feel like that's kind of normal. Like, when I'm vlogging normally, it's not like I'm vlogging about hilarious stuff. When I'm with Matt, it's hilarious. Like, do you get the concept of laughter? I just don't. I honestly, like, that, when I actually read that comment in my head, and it like kind of made sense a little bit. And then I read it out loud to Jonathan, and he was like, that makes no sense. I was like, oh yeah, it really doesn't when you say it out loud. I really don't know. It's like,
I was intently listening, and then it just turned off, and I was like, oh, okay.
Right, King of Controversy himself, Jonathan Joly, is here to finish up what Anna was saying. Now, I do like just my closing thoughts on what she was saying. Now, she has just got to, I've said this so many times about different influencers. If you're on the public platform, get over yourself, get over it. I'm not saying that people being direct, nasty, horrible bullies, people who are sitting there literally, you know, insulting you, insulting the way that you look, No, people offering some sort of feedback to your content, yeah, perfectly acceptable. People literally being bullies and harassing you, obviously not, and that is why you have a block feature. But well and truly, if you're doing YouTube and you're getting some snarky comments about you laughing too much or as long as it's not malicious, horrible and insulting and a way of bullying you, you're going to have to get over this one. You are being paid way more than what, you know, freaking, in some cases, what doctors are paid. And they actually, they save lives. Not honestly, some content creators, some family vloggers make so much money and then bitch and moan about a little bit of feedback. Feedback is common in most jobs. You're going to have to get over it. It's like a job review, okay? If you vlog in your lives, you're going to have to get tougher skin. That's just what I think about it. Like I say, I get my own fair share of, you know, bad comments. I used to get offended by them. Now, I don't even know. I just don't notice it anymore. I'm just like, it's part and parcel. You just get over it. Do you know what I mean?
So I've also been on the internet for as long as YouTube's pretty much been around, okay? I'm a fossil. The way I have always approached the negativity that is always directed towards us, which, let's be honest, it's been pretty crazy. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy over the years. You know, people making videos about us, people talking about us on forums and comments, on web play, just all over the place. People making our life, just directing and sending so much negativity and hate our way.
It's because you guys have honestly gotten away with and done just the worst forms of child exploitation, some of the worst examples that there are on the internet and on YouTube in general of child exploitation. Rounding it up to nowadays, exploiting your transgender daughter for views. This is the reason why. And without people calling you out, and without really huge, massive commentary channels, which there have been, you've seen them, actually covering you guys, it wouldn't even keep you relevant. That's one of the worst things about commentary. It does put the spotlight back on the people that we're trying to not make, you know, that we're trying to single out and go like, well, this isn't right. YouTube shouldn't be allowing this. It is also in turn getting people to look at their content, give them more attention. It's bad, and unfortunately I don't know if there is a way of doing it where people don't go and check out the channel. Do you know what I mean? It's quite difficult. I don't think there's a way of doing commentary on this kind of stuff without it giving them more attention. I don't know. I'm really not sure. But what I'm trying to say is that they have profited from this massively.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but I think, was it during the pandemic? We had that podcast, No Kids Allowed, and we interviewed somebody who was a prolific troll during our sort of mid period in our career. And she kind of like echoed that idea that while she was sending so much harassment our way and negativity our way, her life was being filled with negativity. And the law of attraction says that what you think of is what your life becomes. So if you send, you know what I mean, negativity and hate out all the time, and you read hate and negativity all the time, then you are just basically telling the universe that what you want in your life is more hate and negativity.
The way this guy is manipulating his audience is insane. The thing is, you're going to have some people who are being downright nasty, bullies, we've already covered this. But he's talking about the people that are just like any attention, any bad attention. Are you saying that you basically can't be called out on things? Like, no one in the world can say to someone, hey, I don't really like what you're doing there, that's not right. No one can mention anything. What happens if someone is being particularly nasty and horrible to their animal, for instance? Are you not allowed to, stand there and go, no, that's not right, I don't like what you're doing, stop it? Are you not allowed to do that? It's no different. It's the fact that you're on a YouTube channel where I am turning around and saying, hey, I don't quite like what you're doing, that's not right, you shouldn't be doing that. That doesn't count as being negative. That counts as trying to hold you accountable for doing something that's quite crappy. You've literally been in the newspapers about this. Like, millions of people have been telling you that what you're doing isn't right, and that doesn't mean that we're nasty, bitter, malicious, evil, upset people. It means that we've got a drive and a passion behind this particular cause. We've got an understanding of something that we don't think is right, and we're telling you this.
And therefore, your life becomes filled with hate and negativity. People always say, like, how do you deal with the hate, Jonathan? It's really intense. And I say, I just don't allow it to have attention. I don't give it attention. Because if I give it attention, I'm telling the universe I want more of it, and I do not want more of it. So I will set my attention onto things that I do like in my life, things that make me happy, and that is what I surround myself with. No matter how much people send hate my way, I never send hate to them.
I think it's because you've gotten what you've wanted out of it. You've got a nice house, you got lots of money, you got a nice house, you got your kids, you got them in private school, you got your dog walker, got your cleaner, you've had your nannies, you get free stuff, you get to go away on expensive vacations, all of this kind of stuff. You've gotten what you wanted out of it. You haven't lost. You've been heckled at, you've been shunned, but you have still got what you want. If all of that was taken away because of the amount of negative feedback, I reckon you would. I reckon you would fight back and you would be annoyed. I reckon you would. You're just saying that just because you've got everything. But that still doesn't mean that it's right. That still doesn't mean that exploiting your kids like this and putting them out into the world like this, that doesn't mean it's right.
Because I do, if I even send hate your way, I am telling the universe I want more of that. Because there's checks and balances and everything. If you're in work, if you're in school, or just in life, or in a relationship, whatever it is, and you're feeling hostility and negativity from a person, just know there is balance, Don't let that negativity, take your attention. Don't give your attention to things you don't want in this world.
Okay, so the rest of that was basically him saying goodbye. There was honestly about less than 10 seconds left of that clip. But what do you guys think of Anna and Jonathan's confessional? What do you think about it? This is like pretty much most of their other ones where they're just fighting back. The thing is that Anna has been a lot more controversial recently, and she's reaping her sorrows. I don't know, she's seeing the fruits of her labor, if you were, from doing that. She says she curates her comments. You can't curate your comments and your block list when you have, 200,000-300,000 people who don't really know who you are now going onto your Instagram and going, hey, that's not really right, why are you posting this? You reap what you sow. It's online, it's on the internet. Everyone has to conform to these rules, like these sort of hidden rules of how to be on social media. And if you're going to be baiting people and you're going to be controversial and you're trying to get a rise out of people, guess what? People are going to want to try and get a rise out of you. That's just how it works. It's just common sense. It's the reason why, reaction and commentary channels get a lot of slack. They will. They'll have people that like them, some people that don't like them, because they're challenging ideas, they're challenging other people's content, and some people don't like that. And this is similar. You are challenging what a lot of people go against, like favoriting children and being a toxic boy mum and exploiting your children and everything else that comes with it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Please take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.
Okay, I'm a fossil.